"We need to take Suicide Hill," the commander said. The soldiers looked at each other. That hill was where no one had ever come back alive. But when Barney Hajiro single-handedly charged up that hill and took it, he taught everyone the true meaning of the word impossible. Because real heroism begins with making the impossible possible. In this story, you'll see not just the tale of a war hero, but also the greatest answer ever given to discrimination. How a son fought and sacrificed everything for his country while his family was held in prison camps. And what delayed justice meant when it finally came 50 years later at the White House. Believe me, this true story will deeply move you. In early 1942, 2 months after the Pearl Harbor attack, 26-year-old Barney Hajiro from Maui, Hawaii, was drafted into the U.S. Army. He was the second of 9 children born to Japanese immigrant parents and had spent his life working in sugarcane fields before becoming a stevedore in Honolulu. When he arrived at the military camp, the first thing he was told was a sentence he would never forget. The U.S. military policy was different in those days. Japanese-American soldiers served in special assignments. Proof of loyalty is required. Barney bowed his head, but determination sparkled in his eyes. During that challenging period, his family, along with thousands of other Japanese Americans, was living in special relocation centers for security reasons. Difficult times required difficult decisions. Within months, Barney was assigned to an engineering battalion. His job was only digging, excavating, carrying heavy loads. He was never given a weapon, never trusted. In March 1943, everything changed. The U.S. Army decided to form a special combat unit composed of Japanese Americans, the 442nd Regimental Combat Team. Motto: go for broke, risk everything. When Barney applied to volunteer, the officers were surprised. "Why?" asked the commander. "Your family is in relocation centers. You're working different assignments. Why do you want to serve in a combat unit?" Barney's answer was simple. "This is my country. I want to prove it." After a year of rigorous training at Camp Shelby, Mississippi, the 442nd RCT was sent to Europe. They weren't allowed to fight against Japan in the Pacific. They were considered untrustworthy. In May 1944, they moved to Italy, then to France. The 442nd displayed unparalleled courage and determination. They fought as if they had something to prove. October 19, 1944, Vosges Mountains, France. The Germans had fortified the hills surrounding the towns of Bruyères and Bifontaine with heavy weapons. Each hill was like a natural fortress. On the morning of October 15, 442nd Commander Colonel Pence pointed to the map. "We need to take Suicide Hill," he said. The soldiers looked at each other. That hill was where no one had ever come back alive. Dense forest, steep slopes, and most importantly, 2 machine gun nests perfectly positioned at the top. Barney's friend Tommy Nakamura whispered, "This is a suicide mission." "Maybe," Barney said calmly, "but someone has to do it." October 19, 1944. While Barney was standing guard near Bruyères, he saw Allied forces attacking German positions 200 yards away were pinned down. German snipers had stopped the advance. Without thinking, he climbed onto the embankment. Drawing enemy fire onto himself, he allowed his comrades to advance. With his automatic rifle, he neutralized 2 German snipers. "Are you crazy?" Tommy shouted. "They could have killed you." But they didn't, and now we're advancing. October 22, 1944. While Barney and Tommy were taking an outpost position 50 yards ahead of their platoon, they heard sounds from deep in the forest. 18 armed German soldiers, a heavily equipped patrol, was coming towards them. "Let's run," Tommy said. "We can't take on 18 with just 2. "No, Barney said determinedly. "We ambushed them." The two friends concealed themselves and waited for the patrol to pass. At exactly the right moment, Barney gave the signal. After 2 minutes of intense fighting, 2 German soldiers were dead, 1 wounded, and the remaining 15 had surrendered. "How did we do it?" Tommy asked, still in shock. "We had the element of surprise, and we had nothing left to lose." October 29, 1944, the Lost Battalion, a 275-man unit from the Texas National Guard, had been surrounded by German forces and had been waiting for rescue for 5 days. The 442nd was given the rescue mission. The obstacle was Suicide Hill. At the morning briefing, the commander explained the situation. "There are 2 machine gun nests on the hill. The position is fortified. Every unit that attempted a frontal assault was repelled." Barney listened. A plan was forming in his mind. When the attack began, Barney suddenly moved ahead of his comrades. "Hajiro, get back!" Lieutenant Wilson shouted. But Barney was running, 100 yards, under enemy fire, straight towards the machine gun nests. Bullets whizzed around him, tree fragments flew, but he kept running. When he reached the first machine gun nest, he pulled the pin on his grenade and threw it inside. Explosion. Then he ran to the second nest. Same move. In 10 minutes, he had done what no one else could do. Suicide Hill was taken. But he felt a burning sensation in his back. Bullets had wounded his shoulder and wrist. His left arm was paralyzed. Tommy ran to him. "Barney, why did you take such a risk?" Barney, heavy breathing, smiled. "Because we had to save the Lost Battalion, and someone had to lead." That day, 275 Texas soldiers were rescued. The 442nd had accomplished the impossible mission. Barney was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross for his actions, 3 of them. But he wasn't given the Medal of Honor, because at that time there were different policies regarding awarding the highest medal to soldiers of Asian descent. These policies would change over time. After the war ended, Barney returned to Hawaii. He worked as a security guard. He lived quietly. He didn't tell his story. 50 years passed. In the 1990s, Congress launched an investigation. They reviewed the files of Asian American soldiers who couldn't receive the Medal of Honor during wartime periods because of different policies of that era. 21 people were identified, all from the 442nd RCT, all true heroes. June 21, 2000, the White House. President Bill Clinton placed the Medal of Honor around the neck of 84-year-old Barney Hajiro. They risked their lives above and beyond the call of duty, and in doing so, they did more than defend America. In the face of painful prejudice, they helped to define America at its best. Barney cried that day. After 50 years, he was finally recognized. When he died in 2011, at age 94, he was the oldest living Medal of Honor recipient at the time. Barney Hajiro's story teaches us this: true patriotism is fighting for your country by overcoming challenges. True courage is completing an impossible mission single-handedly, and America's greatness lies in its ability to recognize and correct its mistakes. The 442nd Regimental Combat Team was the most decorated unit in U.S. history for its size and length of service. Go for broke, risk everything, and they truly risked everything they had. Did this story touch you? Tell us in the comments which city you're watching from. If you want to see more of our Medal of Honor Monday series, subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. At Tales of Valor, we share the stories of real Medal of Honor heroes every Monday. See you next Monday with the incredible story of Audie Murphy.